She's #1 at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jazzy.
Yeah, baby.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman.
Greg Gutfeld absolutely obliterated Jasmine Crockett during a jaw-dropping live segment, and the result was total chaos. With razor-sharp comebacks and zero mercy, Gutfeld tore into her outrageous theatrics and left her completely rattled. This wasn't a discussion, it was an on-air demolition. While Crockett clung to her rehearsed lines, Gutfeld came in swinging like a verbal wrecking ball and smashed through every flimsy argument she brought. The audience didn't just watch in silence, they roared with laughter and applause, and the internet, it caught fire in seconds. If anyone still thought political talk shows were dull, this thunderous clash blew that myth to pieces. Crockett never saw it coming, and she never stood a chance.
Or literally, it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you.
That's not very woke, is it? Of course, Crockett isn't the only Democrat who's opposed to interracial marriage, or else more Democrats would have voted for this one. Racist!
Greg Gutfeld doesn't just argue, he annihilates. He doesn't politely wade through debates, he charges through the nonsense like a political buzzsaw, dripping with sarcasm and unstoppable energy. So when Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett strutted into the spotlight with her signature drama and thirst for attention, it was only a matter of time before she collided with the force of nature that is Gutfeld. And the explosion was unforgettable. The moment she tried to extend her exaggerated persona beyond the safety of Capitol Hill, she made a massive miscalculation. She thought Gutfeld would play along like the soft-spoken media host she's used to, but that false assumption sealed her downfall in seconds.
Plantation.
Tyrus, I go to you for no particular reason. Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices. Because we all get sucked into this. Like, this is, if you're gonna talk about black history, at least know it. This is, at least know it, okay?
Instead, she stepped straight into the lion's den, unprepared, overconfident, and hopelessly outmatched. Crockett didn't come across like a serious leader. She looked more like a performer pretending to be a politician. She's mastered how to raise her voice, toss around trendy phrases, and stage emotional meltdowns made to go viral. Her rise in politics hasn't been built on results. It's been powered by outbursts, dramatic headlines, and using every microphone like it's part of a one-woman stage show. Her fans might claim she's fighting for justice, but most viewers just see chaos and noise.
But it goes back to, that was 45 seconds of some of the, like, Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass talk. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation and factories? Get rid of the lottery. Open it up. Talk to the president. Like, hey, we got a plan. We want to make it easier for people who can vet and come in and work in this country. Come up with an idea. Besides, any of y'all want to pick cotton? We're like, we're in suits in the middle of the Midwest. Why would we pick cotton? It's like the extreme stupidness of what she speaks. I'm so angry right now.
And if you're hooked on this fiery takedown, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Now, back to the flames. Greg Gutfeld isn't just loud. He's lethal with words. He cuts through political drama like a surgeon with sarcasm, flashing that confident smirk that practically shouts, I already know how this ends, and it won't be pretty for you. So when he tore into Crockett's latest over-the-top stunt, packed with race-baiting jabs, finger-pointing theatrics, and overplayed partisanship, he wasn't there for calm conversation. He came to roast. And roast her he did. Gutfeld said what millions had been thinking but were too afraid to admit. Jasmine Crockett isn't a serious legislator. She's a walking headline, powered by rage and performance, not purpose.
She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
When the wheels fall off.
You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
She wasn't looking for truth. She came loaded with rehearsed speeches. She wasn't standing up for real values. She was chasing viral fame and internet clout. But in Gutfeld's world, that kind of fake politics falls flat, fast. His takedown wasn't loud or chaotic. It didn't need to be. It was cold, calculated, and delivered with icy precision. Gutfeld didn't need to shout. He just exposed the facts like a spotlight. And what it revealed was deeply embarrassing. He tore apart her trendy slogans, highlighted the obvious contradictions, and unraveled the shaky logic holding her act together. And let's be real, this wasn't some accidental clash. Jasmine Crockett has built her brand on being the queen of political drama. Every time a camera rolls, she's ready to perform, loaded with facial expressions, dramatic pauses, and flashy language to keep the media addicted. But this time, the show backfired, and she collapsed under the pressure. Gutfeld didn't just react, he destroyed the whole act. Every hand gesture, every wild reaction, every fake controversy. He exposed it all with brutal sarcasm and rock-solid truth.
Kilmeade, she's getting to be the face of that party.
I know, thanks to your show.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more popular, this or The View on Gutfeld. But a couple of things. Did you see, at first I thought she was doing it for comedic purposes, but you watch back, nobody had a response. They didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And she's like, oh, really? Farming? Yes, it's called eating, farming. America's got the best farmers in the world. There's glory in doing it. People do it, and the people don't do it by hand anymore. This isn't 1820. So I was just stunned by what she's saying. But the weird thing is, she probably left that room thinking she knocked it out of the park. And I don't think that anyone can stop her from being the face of the party, except Bernie Sanders, who's 111 years old, talking about oligarchs.
He mocked the sheer absurdity of her outrage. He zoomed in on the wild contradictions. One minute she's calling for unity, and the next she's accusing anyone who disagrees with her of being part of some dark conspiracy trying to silence her brilliance. Gutfeld didn't fall for the act for even a second. He saw right through it and called it exactly what it was. A polished performance crafted to distract from the truth. That she hasn't actually accomplished anything meaningful. And that's when things got really satisfying. Gutfeld didn't stop at the noise, he went for her record, or more accurately, the giant hole where a record should be. For all the yelling, for all the viral clips and dramatic speeches, her career in Congress is a ghost town. No major bills, no major wins, just a steady loop of soundbites and tantrums replayed on social media. Jasmine Crockett isn't a public servant, she's a political product. She's the reality TV version of a lawmaker, heavy on drama, light on results. Sure, that might win her likes and retweets, but it does nothing to move the country forward.
Do you have an opinion on this? Or should I move on to somebody?
No, I just... It has to come from me.
Yes.
Okay? None of y'all are qualified. Not just, for one thing, I'm mad at Charmaine the guy because he should have kicked her out. See, the problem is that we are allowing our own culture to be openly racist and get away with it. Now, if a white person is offended by that, and they should be, they say something, it's like, it's not the same thing. But if you say that, and another brother looks at you and goes, man, you wrong for that. And I don't want you on my show. Get the hell out. Because I'm telling you right now, if I was not on the show, which happens sometimes, and someone was sitting in his chair and he was complaining about black men this and black that, and they shouldn't be here, and you know what happens when a white woman marries a black guy, you would not have seen that guy in the next segment. He would have kicked his ass off, because you're not going to talk about somebody that I care about like that, or another person like that. That's the problem.
As expected, Crockett's defenders came rushing in, and they came loud. They scrambled to cover her with the usual tired shields, crying that every bit of criticism must be rooted in prejudice, sexism, or, of course, fear of her so-called power. But Gutfeld wasn't having it for a second. He sliced through the noise with brutal clarity, making it clear that holding politicians accountable isn't hate, it's basic responsibility. And if a lawmaker can't handle real scrutiny, maybe they shouldn't be in the game at all. And the public? They responded with fire. Social media lit up like a 4th of July finale. Memes exploded across the internet. One image showed Gutfeld towering over a cartoonish, dazed Crockett with the caption, "Sit down and learn something." Clips of the clash replayed non-stop. Fans treated it like a championship smackdown. And honestly, it felt like one. Let's not twist the facts. This wasn't an ambush. Crockett walked into it full force. No one pushed her. She grabbed the spotlight, swaggered up to the mic, and tried to throw verbal punches. But she forgot one thing. Gutfeld always hits harder. While she flailed, shouted, and dodged like a cornered diva, Gutfeld stayed calm and struck with facts, wit, and sarcasm sharp enough to leave a scar.
Yeah, all right, stop it! Although I must say you have great taste. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, man. Okay.
It was like watching someone try to fight a wildfire with glitter. All flash, no impact, and completely falling apart. Even some of her own allies started backing away slowly, clearly realizing this was one PR disaster they didn't want their name on. Gutfeld wasn't just mocking a single outburst, he was tearing down the entire political performance style that Crockett embodies. He exposed the growing wave of politicians who think going viral is more important than doing their actual job. And he did it with humor so sharp, nobody could look away. Then came the final blow, the knockout moment. After slicing through her arguments, laughing off her showboating, and exposing her hollow resume, Gutfeld landed the one message that hit the hardest. Real leadership is not about yelling, pointing fingers, or becoming a hashtag. It's not about making noise or hunting for headlines. It's about showing up, doing the hard work, and creating real change. Not soaking up camera time with flashy speeches and empty promises. Jasmine Crockett didn't just lose an argument. She got hit with a brutal reminder that when you trade substance for spectacle, someone like Greg Gutfeld will always be waiting with a sarcastic grin and a hammer of truth.
Jesse, they call Musk a Nazi, and next thing you know, you got swastikas on cars. They called Trump Hitler and a Nazi and a fascist, and he got shot. So I don't really ever see that happening on the Republican side when we make fun of Democrats. It's also about the supporters. It's not just the leaders. It seems like Democrats are easily programmed to do bad things.
Yes, they are. They're very easily programmed, Greg.
I made you say that.
This wasn't just a takedown, it was a blazing red warning sign with Greg Gutfeld's smirk stamped right on it. He didn't just dismantle Jasmine Crockett's performance, he turned it into a megaphone-blasting message for every politician obsessed with internet fame instead of actual results. To every headline chaser out there confusing volume with vision and TikTok drama with leadership, Gutfeld made it crystal clear. We see right through you, we're done with the act. And no, nobody's clapping anymore. Because let's face it, this wasn't a debate. It wasn't an honest conversation. It was like crashing a quiet dinner party with a blowhorn and a reality check. Crockett tried to stir up the room with her usual storm of outrage and recycled slogans, hoping the noise would mask how weak her points really were, but this time, it didn't work. The audience didn't clap. No viral support swelled up. Just dead silence, and the sinking feeling of watching someone try to make a dramatic leap and land flat on their face in front of the world.
First, they cursed, now they thirst for blood. Jasmine Crockett is upping her temper tantrums, now saying the only way Democrats can win elections is by throwing hands.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right?
Crockett spun out in panic, scrambling to reclaim control, tossing out buzzwords like confetti in a windstorm. She fired off phrases like systemic oppression, voice of the people, and the all-too-familiar let me finish. But every line bounced right off Gutfeld's cool, unbothered expression like rubber darts off a brick wall. It was like watching someone try to put out a blaze with a bottle of soda. frantic, loud, and completely useless. Meanwhile, Gutfeld looked as calm as a guy picking his next lunch. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't break a sweat. His takedown was so smooth, it felt like VIP sarcasm, delivered with the ease of a hotel clerk saying, "Thank you for screaming, please hold while we connect you to someone who cares." He wasn't just winning, he was doing it like he'd already moved on to dessert. Crockett was flailing, but Gutfeld, he was chillin', delivering zingers like postcards from reality. And the audience? They weren't just watching, they were living for it. Every sharp jab from Gutfeld hit like a firecracker in a room full of inflated egos. The crowd burst with laughter. Heads turned. Crockett's power moment disintegrated into one of the most awkward collapses ever caught on live TV. A brutal reminder of what happens when showbiz meets raw truth and gets swallowed whole.
Now, she claims that she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels back in 2020.
Her supporters scrambled to stop the bleeding. Tweets flew like shrapnel. Think pieces popped up within minutes. And somewhere out there, someone probably started typing misogynoir into a heartfelt Instagram caption before realizing no number of hashtags could undo this wreck. But it was already too late. This wasn't just a small mistake. It was a complete public collapse of a carefully managed image. The crown didn't just fall off. She yanked it off herself on camera. And Gutfeld? He didn't even stick around for the cleanup. He strolled away from the meltdown with that same smug calm that said everything. He knew he'd already won. He understood this wasn't about Crockett anymore. It was about a cultural reckoning. He didn't just dismantle her on-air performance. He blew the lid off a whole political movement built on style over substance, where followers replace facts and outrage gets confused with leadership. What made it even more brutal for Crockett was Gutfeld's chill demeanor. No shouting, no death pounding, not even a sarcastic eye roll, just sharp, unshaken truth delivered with comic timing and total control. He wasn't mad, he was bored. And somehow that stung even worse. There stood Crockett, mic still in hand, expecting applause. But it never came. It was like belting out a solo on stage only to realize the speakers were off and the room was already empty.
How long is she going to keep this thing that she wasn't talking about, the wheelchair?
Yeah. Come on, babe, you know you're full of and all that, Jasmine. I think what happened was AOC was like, you guys, I need to triangulate and be serious now because I'm going to be a senator. So someone has to be a talking attention whore. Who's it going to be? And Jasmine raised her hand and goes, excuse me, Congresswoman Cortez, I speak jive.
What it is, mama.
She gave it everything, the volume, the drama, the spotlight, and still, it all collapsed in front of her like a poorly built stage because shouting louder doesn't create vision and hashtags can't replace real leadership. This wasn't just a political clash. It was a full-on war between distraction and depth, between empty noise and genuine service. Gutfeld didn't just take down a politician, he uncovered a growing threat in modern politics. The rise of the viral politician. These are the ones turning Congress into a content playground, where bills are just backdrops, speeches are staged for the camera, and real action gets shoved aside for likes and applause. That's what Gutfeld was exposing, loud and clear. Politics isn't a reality show. It's not a selfie booth dressed up as activism. It's about results, not retweet. And if you treat it like a circus, if you swap substance for stunts, watch out. Because someone like Greg Gutfeld will always be just behind the curtain, ready to pull it back, ready to tear through the show, and ready to turn your carefully staged spotlight into a national red flag. Jasmine Crockett learned that the hard way. And the entire country saw it live.